is Caroline. I'm the ALD Events Chair for Montclair. We are in upstate New Jersey. We go to Montclair State University, and a few months ago, we put together a fantastic volunteer effort called Feed the Frontlines, as you can see. Our chapter focuses quite a bit on community outreach pre and eventually post-COVID, but we wanted to do something during COVID. We didn't want to just sit at home. As you will see, as soon as the pandemic hit, we knew there could be something that we could do to help our community. We brainstormed how to navigate interpersonal help in the midst of a pandemic to get as many people as possible to help out. And as many people as we could possibly get did help us out, as you'll see. And we came up with a COVID relief event. A lot of planning went into the event, which you'll see later in the presentation, and there was an extremely fast turnaround. We reached out to local businesses, families, and asked for donations of food, and some even generously gave financially, to bring food to our hospital workers. And as it turned out, many more benefited as well. We want to challenge you all to think about what's going on in your community that you would be able to lend a hand to. And we want to hear from you after the presentation. What is one area in your community that you think could use a helping hand? Write down your ideas now, and then when we're finished, pop it in the chat, and we will talk about those in a bit. So with public health restrictions and Saturday traffic, we came out and showed up for our community, and we were absolutely delighted with the outcome.
Oh, whoops. I think that's the next slide after mine. One more before this one.
Sorry.
Here we go. Okay, so as Caroline mentioned, we wanted to find a reasonable way for the community to give back to the frontline workers in hospitals. So when we came up with a rough draft of the plan in one of our e-board meetings, we need to first find participating vendors and community leaders. So I found that the most efficient way to connect with them was through phone calls. I mean, we didn't really want to waste much time waiting for email responses. So when we called, we asked to speak with the owners of the establishments. We found that many of them wanted to contribute and give back. They just didn't know how. So it was really nice giving them that path. So overall, we really had a lot of positive responses. However, I will note that it is definitely important, if you guys want to recreate an event like this, it is definitely important to include some kind of incentive, especially when you're communicating with businesses during a rough time. You get the question of, okay, so what do I get out of this? So in fact, many of my conversations with these businesses started out that way. So I agreed to give them shout outs on our social media pages, just so that way their contribution was heard. And I also agreed to keep them in mind when we had future events and keep them in mind as our future vendors. So once we had enough participants for us to move forward with the event, I contacted a nearby hospital that I was pretty familiar with, and I was put in contact with the foundation coordinator. We chatted a bit, and I proposed the plan and gave her a run through of the day we put together for them. And after we went through all the logistics of how everything was going to be done, we agreed on a date and time. So we made sure after we agreed on this date and time, we made sure that everybody knew about this event. So that way, if they wanted to contribute, if they wanted to give back, they now had a way, and it was through our e-board. You know, we would take on the delivery and the expenses of all that and donate our time, so long as they want to participate in the event. So as you could see, and as Caroline mentioned, lots of preparation went into this event. I would say a few months of preparation definitely went towards this.
And then just to continue, I wanted to state how Feed the Frontlines consisted of collaborating with 16 different businesses. So that's 16 different restaurants and families all over New Jersey who are willing to donate to this cause. Now, knowing that 16 different businesses volunteered, how many people do you think actually went into this? So how many cars do you think we were driving? How many individual people volunteered to pick up these products, all of these food? How many people do you think? Do I have any volunteers who would like to participate? Yes, as Caroline stated, you guys can drop your guesses in the chat. 500, okay, that is a promise. I wish it was 500. 30. Okay, I see the numbers coming in. 100. Wow. Okay, so actually, we had Carolyn. Do you want to do the honors of cooking? We had 5 volunteers, guys. 5 volunteers driving all around New Jersey, and picking up food from all of these people who were willing to donate to us. And now, given with this number, 5 volunteers, how many cars do you think we had? Drop the guesses in the chat, guys. 3, 6, 5, 1. Okay, so I saw somebody comment 3. Carolyn, would you like to? Yes, 3 cars actually helped us getting to and from. So it was difficult in the sense that, you know, we only had 3 cars and we were all around New Jersey, but with well communication, we were willing to get through it, you know. Me and Noura, especially, we would speak, we would call each other and we'd be like, where are you? Like, what part of New Jersey are you in? Like, okay, well, I have to go to that restaurant. So, like, can you pick it up for me? And she'd be like, yeah. Like, I'll go for you. So definitely with teamwork, it all worked out in the end. And then on to our next slide. So then pickup. So pickup started at 12 p.m. and getting to different businesses is something that did not come easy given summer weekend traffic, as Carolyn mentioned. But these are the things that factor into giving back to our community. It is the end result that makes the little bumps in this project worthwhile. And yeah, Noura can speak more about like the pickups and how like her experience was. I know for me, like how she stated, a lot of these businesses, they were willing to cooperate. You know, they wanted to donate in this tough time during this pandemic. So it made this whole process extremely easy for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So as Ashlyn mentioned, we only had 3 cars. So that being said, they were all filled to the brim, which is definitely a good problem to have. But I mean, we used back seats, the passenger seat, the trunk, any possible crevice that we can find in our vehicle, we used it. We needed as much space as we can get. Like I said, definitely a good problem to have. So as Caroline mentioned, we had a few monetary donations given by a few families and community leaders. So we stopped by the local dollar store. We picked up some utensils, balloons, and a large poster sign, and some markers. And as you see in the middle picture, we started writing the names of all the families and businesses using the hood of my car. So we put all the names down with a large thank you in the center. So it was something nice that can supplement the other donations. So by the end of the event, we were able to deliver enough food to feed the entire hospital staff, the hospital patients, and the visitors that were in the building that day. So that's just a testament of how dedicated these restaurants and community leaders were to giving back. So definitely something good for us and for them too. Really cool.
All right, so you just got to hear about what went into planning the event and how we executed it. So we put together a video highlight and we'd like to share it with you all.
So this was also the first event to be co-sponsored with another honor society on campus, which is something we highly encourage. Take advantage of any clubs, organizations, even honor societies on your campuses. We certainly needed all the help that we can get, and we couldn't have done it without them and their e-board. And I believe that concludes our presentation. I want to open it up to the Q&A portion, but I know that Caroline proposed a question to you all in the beginning, so I'll hand it over to her.
Yeah, so at the beginning, I asked if you all would brainstorm really quickly some places in your community that you know could use a helping hand, and we'd love to hear from all of you.
If you want to go ahead and end the screen share since they can grab that PowerPoint. Thank you. So let's see what things are coming in. We do have a question while those things are coming in. If you want to field that, is that okay? Who did you reach out to for the partnership with the hospital? Like what position was it? The head administrator or someone in charge of something else?
I can answer that one. So we mostly spoke to the owners of the establishments, and we made it clear that we wanted to speak to the owners because they're usually the decision-making identity of these restaurants that we spoke to. And we wanted to get a definitive answer. So we didn't want to speak with employees or anyone else that might refer us to others. So I hope that answers that.
Yep. Good. Yeah.
Eso no sé. Ajá.
Oh, what was that?
Oh, there was another question in the chat that said, how long did it take you to plan and execute? This is the advisor for MSU ALD. I also just wanted to say that I'm very proud of our group, and they did an amazing job. Yes.
They really did. Thank you. Yes, you're absolutely right. So yeah, go ahead with the timeline question. If you want to, yeah, if anyone want to address that, like how long from start to end, how long did it take to plan this?
Sure. So I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, Aislinn and Caroline, if you guys want to interject at any time, but I would have to say it was, I think we had that initial e-board meeting right when COVID started. I don't know if you guys remember, we were, and New Jersey was the epicenter of COVID-19. I mean, we were having spikes of cases. And it had to have been right in the beginning of the outbreak. So I would say we began planning around the end of March. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but it took us just to add on that. Yeah, it took us like it took us a lot of time to plan this, probably like a few weeks maybe or months, because we wanted to make sure that we were taking the right precautions for this, especially going into a hospital and having other students volunteer. That's why in our presentation we only had 5 volunteers, because we couldn't carpool and have a lot of people in our cars. So yeah, it took a lot of work, but honestly we did it. I'm happy that we did it. It felt great.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. And the hospital seemed to respond. Somebody asked how the hospital responded. From the video, it looked like they were pretty pleased.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, when I was speaking with Lindsay, she was the coordinator for the hospital. She made the whole thing a surprise. So she didn't tell them what was happening. So it was really nice that we got to experience that with them.
Yeah, that's great. Right. Good. And some great ideas, Caroline, that you had posed. I think some folks are thinking about things and maybe could do a similar program at their campus. So wow. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Great video. And you did an amazing job. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
For sharing with us, for your time, for supporting Alpha Lambda Delta. Wonderful job.
Thanks for having us.